Jesse Lee Peterson gave an opportunity to somebody to come talk to him at his church. You might not believe who it is. Kanye West, yay, showed up to ask Jesse Lee Peterson some questions about God and about anger and about all them things. He was brought there by his friend Hassan. Hassan has been one of those people that has been under Jesse's tutelage for a while. Now, this is not a conversation of whether you believe or agree with Jesse or not, about all the things he believes. This conversation is about yay, about what he's doing, whether or not he's doing this out of a conscious place, another faith move that ain't gonna go nowhere, or is this gonna be his catalyst for true change? So we're gonna listen to the conversation and see where it goes. Now, I will say that I was privy to the conversation before with Corey, and I will be going into what our conversation was about this. And we did not see eye to eye, not the kind of eye to eye, like, you don't know what you're talking about, boy. I don't, not that kind of eye to eye. But we have a different perspective of where we think Kanye is going, where we think he might be ending up, and what benefit this conversation was to him. Right, Mr. What the? Tell us what this conversation will go to, please. Let's listen.
Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Get a mic to the young man next to you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anger?
Yeah, I think I'm the walking, living embodiment of anger.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Yes.
Speak up for me.
Yes.
You what'd you say?
Yes, I do have anger.
You do. Why don't you drop your anger?
Yeah, that's what I'm learning here.
You learning what?
To drop the anger.
And so what do you, is this your first time here?
Yes.
And what's your name and how did you hear from about us?
My name is Jay. I heard about you from Hassan.
Now, at first, we weren't too sure if it was yay, but he did sound a lot like yay, only to find out later, it was yay. And by the way, if you wonder why I'm calling him yay, that's his government name now. Don't look at me. I didn't pick it. He did. Just honoring the man's picking of his name, and it's yay. I mean, oddly enough, he said it's yay and not yay, so he must have forgot he did it too. Weird. Anyway, he says he has anger issues. I think we kind of knew that. But you'll hear a lot of big pauses in his reactions. And a lot of it is, he will admit, is him thinking about the questions and how to really answer them.
Right on. Any questions first about anything that you've heard or anything? Or working on yourself and all that?
No.
Okay. Why don't you drop the anger?
Oh, I'm deciding to do that after hearing this.
Oh, what would happen to you if you had no anger?
Big pause.
I could be used by God more.
Now, if we go back into the annals of history, we'll remember that Kanye had a spiritual awakening at one point, and he dropped that Jesus album. He was about to go to his second one, and then things kind of took a reverse course, and then he went completely the other direction. And I mean sprinting with rocket shoes on, just down the street. My opinion is, I can't trust this Kanye talking. Corey's version is that, well, he's speaking to somebody who's a little more direct with him as opposed to other people. And this is exactly what probably Kanye needs, is somebody who's not going to gawk at his celebrity and just hand it to him raw, unfiltered, uncut, no regard for his popularity. And I will admit that Jesse knows how to do just that. I don't think I've ever seen a man less in awe of people than I have with Jesse. If there was a mascot for I don't give a damn, it'd be Jesse. I'm telling you now, if they were to start putting pictures next to terms, his picture would be the number one thing next to I don't give a damn. That'd be him. And I think Kanye might need that. Yes. My side is that I can't trust Kanye. Well, I'm not disregarding what Mr. Jesse Lee might offer him and his approach. I've just seen a different side of Kanye that seems to be reluctant to really let go yet. This might be it, might be, but a time for me is what I'm looking for. But let's see what the rest of his answers are.
That's for sure. Do you know where your anger came from? How did you become angry?
Long pause again.
Just different events throughout my life that I felt were didn't add up, where 2 + 2 didn't equal 4. And the answer to why it didn't happen was just somebody just shrugging their shoulders.
Rejection will do that, and I will agree with him. And to Corey's point, his ideology of thinking things through, it could be a very good thing that he has to chew on the question first, and jumping hastily to an answer usually tells me that you're not listening to the question. And all of that is 100% true. Hopefully, his contemplation of the question will result in a longer lasting decision that he might make. But again, the coming to the knowledge of what a question means and then going past it into actual application, that's the bridge I'm waiting for him to cross. But let's see what he has to say.
The last thing you say, what?
The answer to why the simple math didn't add up or it didn't go my way is that someone just looked at me and shrugged their shoulders.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What has Hassan told you you need to forgive your mother? Your anger came from her?
No, I didn't hear that before today.
Are you serious?
What
He didn't tell you that. What the? No. You're never going to be free until you forgive your mother. You become just like her. You become like what you hate, and the thoughts and the emotions and all that is hers.
Now, I will give Jesse this. While y'all might not believe or take his viewpoint about the whole forgiving mother thing and attitude of the men act like them, whether you believe that or not, we're talking about Kanye right now. Okay, cool. So let's relegate the conversation, because I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Somebody gonna come and say, not all women. Okay, cool. Not all women. Let's talk about Kanye's mama. And this is a direct conversation about his mama. I can definitely see that being about Kanye's mom. Why? Now, Kanye himself said that he sacrificed his mom. You wouldn't sacrifice something you love, would you? No. If you really cherished it the way that people would say you cherish your mama, that'd be the last thing you do. So maybe in this occasion, Jesse has a point. Again, we're dealing with Kanye, not y'all, not anybody else, Kanye. And that statement about hating his mama seems to hold water, considering what he did to his mama, his own admission while he was in that car in front of that facility. Remember that? Okay.
That's why God said that all who are born of the woman must be born of the Father. So you got to forgive her for what she's done to you when you were a little kid, impose her will on you, too mothering, too dominating, turning you away from your father. You must go to her. It's when you can see that I do have this anger. I'm just like my mother. And go to her, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. You recreated me in your image, and I can't help myself. I'm just like you. I'm sorry for resenting you, and God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness. You got to admit that you're wrong for judging. Anyone that has anger judges, and anyone that judges play God, and you will never know God. You'll know about him. You hear about him. You'll talk about him, but you won't know him. But you got to face your mother and forgive her.
Now, interesting dilemma he's put Kanye in, because Kanye's mama's no longer here. This will have to be one of those spiritual forgivenesses that he has to give. Not a conversation he can definitely have with his mother. It'll be one of those things he just has to let go internally. Whether that can happen, especially considering the sacrifice side of it, and whether or not he can actually dissolve that bond, that's a whole nother question. But he does contemplate it long enough to think it through. And I am impressed with that.
And your father, for not protecting you from your mother, he didn't know how to deal with the hell in her. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with the hell in your mother because he married his mother. Your mother became his mother, and the cycle repeats itself. So you got to forgive him for not protecting you from her. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was digesting that from what people was talking about when they were talking earlier. I thought that was, I think I like this really stern black and white approach.
Yeah.
And it may, or I feel that I see clarity in it.
Now, he sees clarity in the black and white approach. But you know, Kanye has this ability to just try and overcomplicate simple things. Maybe he's just gotten so used to making everything sound so deep and profound that he doesn't understand that this is not about being very profound. This is just about being, like he said, black and white. And I think many people have this issue with God. They want to have all this extra fluff to sound smart. I think Corey says it all the time. You just want to sound smart, but he doesn't say it. But I'm not Corey. My name is Marlon, but you're dumb. Okay. You want to sound smart, but you're not smart. You're dumb. And usually when people try to overcompensate their intelligence, it's proof that they lack it. Kanye accepting the fact that it's something that's causing him to think and not overthinking it for the first time, it seems, is a good sign, not saying no. Again, for me, and this is where Corey and I differ, for me, I understand that Kanye has a lot to fight past, including a history of coming to this point and then running the other way. Could this be the catalyst to drag him fully over the line and leave all the silly stuff behind? Could possibly be. And I would hope it is. But he got to prove it. He got to prove it.
Right on. And if you could see it a little bit, that God is allowing you to see it. I can't make you see it. No one here can make you see it.
Facts.
Only God allows those who see it who want to see it.
I agree with that.
He doesn't let everybody see it because most people don't want to see it. Most people love their misery. They love their thrills. They love their hell.
Now, that's biblical too, in case y'all want to bring that up. Blinding their eyes so they don't see. That's biblical. In case y'all want to go back to bring up any kind of scripture. I'm going to advise you right now. If that's where you want to go with the conversation, that particular statement, 100% biblical. They don't want to know. And when you don't want to know, you're not going to know. Many people think they know. But what they know is that they get something from God. They don't go to God to give up. They go to God to get. And it's not even to get the right thing. It's just to get stuff. Like, I want to be able to do this. I want that blessing. It's like they go to God to be Santa Claus, man. Like, where did he ever tell you he was going to be Santa Claus? I don't know how y'all get that. So this conversation that he's having with Kanye is a very wonderfully frank one. Maybe one that Kanye never had before, because people always, like I said, have been awestruck by the fact that he's a celebrity. The man's a billionaire. To some people, that matters, especially if you have an ulterior motive to maybe get to his funds.
One last quick question, and I got to move on. Who are you?
This question is profound. That question is profound. It may seem simple. And to Kanye, it was, until Jesse said it's not that simple. And you'll see what we mean. Very long pause. Now, you might think the awkward silence is bad. It's very good. I wanted that to linger for a reason. Many people, when they're confronted with a question, unless it's really internalized and you believe it to your core, it is actually what you have as your functioning core, you can answer right away. Many of us who do not have that solid center should take our time responding, because you need to formulate your point of view fully before giving it. If you recognize our platform on Too Strong, when we ask people questions, most of the time we already know their answer before they know it, because we've already listened to how they speak. And many people will ask us questions and you realize we answer right away. Why is that? It's because we're smart? No. It's not because we're super smart. It's because the belief structure we have, we've owned. We've taken time. We've analyzed it. We've lived through it. We've fought with it. It is something that is now us. We know who we are. Not what we do, not a title. We know who we are. There's no battling that. So when you ask us, it's right away. Kanye, on the other hand, is having a hard time answering the question because in his mind, he is a myriad of things, as you will soon find out.
I think of a lot of things when you ask that. I come up with a lot of different answers.
Okay, and you give me those answers. Some of them.
I'm a son. I'm a father. I'm a king. I'm a student. I'm a teacher. I'm a husband. I'm a leader.
Seven things.
Those are the things that come to
Okay.
mind. Yeah.
So those are the things you do, but who are you?
See?
You name me all the stuff you
Can
do.
I cheat off his test?
What a mess. No cheating here, buddy. You told me what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and you have kids, what you have,
But not what
and
you are.
all that
who
other
you
stuff,
are.
but you didn't tell me who you
Yeah.
are. Who are you?
I don't know what answer you're looking. I don't know how to answer that.
Did you know you didn't know who you really are? Before now?
Yeah, I must have been looking for something. That's why I pulled up to church, to the meeting.
So you didn't know that you didn't know who you are. Before now, you didn't know who you are. You don't know yourself. You don't know who you are.
Yeah, I think I have those titles like when you're talking about school earlier and people go to school and then I forgot you were talking with her about it earlier and people go to get degrees to define themselves.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm a therapist. I'm the president. Okay, but who are you? That's what you do, dummy. But who are you? People don't know.
Lordy, Jesse. Lordy. What the? See, subtle and frank. You can't beat it. You can't beat direct. Y'all want to know why we get frustrated with people? And Jesse has mastered this. We still learning it. Okay. Corey is closer to it than I will ever be at this point. And I have no equivocations of saying that. We get upset and irate with people when they will not admit something that is blatantly true. If you don't know, just say you don't know. If it's yes, just say yes. If it's no, just say no. That's biblical too. Yes, yeah. Let your yes be yes and your nay be nay. In order to answer it thusly, though, you got to know you. You got to know you.
Who they are. That's why they're lost. What is it like? Last question, then I got to go here. What is it like living a life not knowing who you are? What is it like living that way?
He's not living.
It's like my navigation today is kept rerouting.
Now, they will laugh at this statement, but I've felt like that before. If you've ever been lost before, and I mean spiritually, physically lost, up is down, down is sideways, everything is discombobulated. If you've lived a life like that before, you understand exactly what Kanye meant. You can't get your bearings. You don't know what right is. You don't know what wrong is. You're torn by everybody else's statements. You're torn by your own statements. You're torn by your past. You're torn by your future. You're torn by everything. You are in a whirlwind and you don't know where you're going. That might be some of y'all out there. You have no clue where you're heading to. You don't know where you're coming from. You know that you don't want to go back there, but there's an alert either way. I'm with Jesse. You don't know who you are. Maybe it's time you figured out that first. Not what you want to do with yourself, but who.
What a mess. Any questions or anything?
Where'd you get that shirt from? I want to get one of those.
Now, as funny as it is, what I noticed that he did there, any further conversation to get him engaged in where he's thinking will overwhelm him. He has a lot on his plate to think about right now. And so to ask another deep question, as tempting as it is, I think he's in a place where he realizes, it's too much. I got enough to deal with. Now, whether any of this will go anywhere with Kanye, I don't know. Do I hope it does? Of course, you want to hope everybody that finds a way to talk about God and to God, they turn. Of course, you want that. But at the end of the day, everybody's got to choose for themselves. Us wanting and wishing is irrelevant to the person's choosing.
I love this shirt. It was a gift. Someone gave it to me. If you want it, you can have it. You want it?
Oh, not right now, but like later. I think.
I'll give it to you after the meeting. You can have it.
Now, for as much as I may say that the history of Kanye is sordid, and it is, and his most recent history, by the way, we're not talking about years ago. We're talking about March. Okay, we're talking about Kanye's history, March, April, for crying out loud, right there, just around the corner. Could this be his last chance to try and make it? Is this God's way of trying to get Kanye's attention, final way, and bring him to a knowledge that, yo, bro, you got so much bound up in you that think it's all about you. I need you to sober up and think and find who I say you're supposed to be. This could be his last chance. It seems too direct. And Corey said this to me backstage too. He said, for us, it seems a pretty simple thinking question. Like, who are you? We know who we are. We could say it. Okay. And it's even if we can't verbalize it for the people to understand, we know whose we are. If nothing else, we know whose we are. And in knowing whose I am, I know who I am. I've just become a child of God. That's also who I am. It's not a title. That is. Kanye doesn't know. Most people don't. Most people invest their time in figuring out what they can do to get an identifier on them. But when you have seen what you were, you no longer want to be that. Kanye is at that crossroads. He's had superfluous people come talk to him before. Some crazy kooks like Osteen and a bunch of these smiley plastic people. Jesse is not that, okay? Say what you want about his theology. Jesse does not beat around the bush with his statements. And just perhaps the same way that God could use Balaam's donkey, he could use anybody he wants to get to Kanye, especially if he's trying to really yank his chain to get him to change. Now, as of this moment, there is no change in Kanye externally. This conversation is a couple of days old, maybe a little bit more. So whether or not this has time to germinate, whether it has time to flesh itself out in him, we don't know. Whether it will, we don't know. I hope it does. I really do. For the sake of Kanye's kids, if nothing else, and for the sake of Kanye's soul, I do hope it fleshes itself out and that the change is a permanent one. I do hope that when Kanye does a turn, it is a full turn. A full turn. I'm not sure that God will use his talents in the kingdom. I don't know that. Because like I said, he has a way of changing all of your life to restructure it the way he wants it. I mean, I'm doing something I never thought I'd be doing, podcasting. I was not an outgoing person. I was never going to go talk in front of no camera. No. You can ask any of my friends growing up. I couldn't even go into the gas station to ask for change. Me, I'm hiding in the back of the car. And I had that all the way up to college. But when he wants something done, and he's going to get it through you, he going to get it done. This is part of knowing who you are and whose. Kanye is on the verge, or he might be on the verge to drop one side instead of the other. I do appreciate Jesse's approach to him, telling him exactly what needed to be said. Because there's no love in a man for his mother if he can sacrifice her for fame. No amount of fame, if he loved his mother, would have made him do that. So Jesse's right. He hated his mom. For whatever reasons he did, he did. Now Kanye has to come to terms with what he did, offer it up, and be done with it. Will that happen? Don't know. Time will tell. If there's a follow-up, maybe he'll make a video saying exactly what is. Or you might just see him completely do a 360 at the 180 and be done with all that he's doing and move in the right direction. What are your thoughts? You think he's gonna? You think this is a hope, last chance? No chance at all? Not a snowball chance in hell? I mean, what do you think? Wait to see your comments when we read this later. But please, again, limit it to the conversation at hand, which is Kanye and this conversation he had with Jesse. I look forward to reading your comments.